Good evening, Crimson Tide Nation, and welcome to the 26th edition of the Alabama Crimson Tide Live Call-In Show, where Jeffrey and I take your calls on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Jeffrey's not here at the moment, but he is stuck in traffic, or he's dealing with something, or the bat signal is calling him someplace, but he will be here momentarily. I am yours truly, Jackson Johnson, who you often see on Crimson Tide Live, Monday night, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, sometimes 5 p.m. Central Time. And you see me on the Alabama Call-In Show. And let me tell you something, folks. You're going to see a wild ride involving the Alabama Crimson Tide. And, we've been talking a lot about the quarterback battles, but we'll be talking about other stuff. No worries. We're only 149 days away from kickoff. It won't come soon enough. I'm excited about where 2025 is going to go for Bama. We're going to be fine. Relax. We're all right. All righty. Before we get this show on the road, and of course, the call-in link is in the chat and it's in the description when we take your calls. And there's YouTube membership perks for Alabama with the Voice of College Football. As a matter of fact, I'm going to send an invite right here and now for all of you in the chat. For $2.99 a month, you can become a Crimson Faithful member, where you can get loyalty badges next to your name, custom emojis to use in the chat, and you get member shoutouts, like the Godfather of the SEC, for example, giving out a hello everyone and the number one foam finger. How are you doing tonight, Godfather? Long time no see. Good to see you, good buddy. Good to see you. That's what I'm talking about. You become a YouTube member at Alabama to Voice College Football for $2.99 a month by becoming a Crimson Faithful member. You get a shout out. For $4.99 a month, you can get an access monthly hangout with yours truly, Coach Birch, Jeffrey Only Talk Sports, Manny Wilson, and Brady Quoto. But you can hang out with us and you get priority replies to comments. For $9.99, you can become a Bear Bryant legend. You can connect on social media with each of us, and you can give out content requests of any kind. And neither rain, nor sleet, nor snow, nor bad weather, nor pollen, nor ragweeds will put a stop to us from fulfilling your request for Alabama at the Voice College Football. We're going to continue making that magic for you, ladies and gentlemen. And for April 20th, we are 17 days away from Easter. You know that means you got to get Disputed National Champions College Football's Historical 1990s Reset, written by the voice of college football himself, Mark Rogers, where you'll be learning about what happened during the 90s, how the decade changed sport, why the championship results should be questioned, how to critically think through the scenarios, and appreciate the accomplishments of teams that were not recognized as champions. This book provides an in-depth analysis of the changes, controversies, and outcomes that defined the decade of college football. Challenges readers to explore and critically evaluate the decisions that shaped the national championship landscape. Unlock the mysteries of college football's most debated decade. Grab your copy now. And we're glad to see you're doing great, Godfather. And we got our first caller of the night. We got Alabama Richie coming on in, and he's been having some really good days. How you doing today, good buddy?
Hey, not too bad. Are you doing the show solo tonight?
I don't know. We're waiting and seeing.
Sounds
I'm
good.
hoping Jeffrey's all right.
I am too. I really hope he's okay. Sorry, I would have been here a little bit sooner, but and waited in the background. But we were working with Wager Wire, and you've joined us a couple times, and we always appreciate your insight and things. Wanted to let you know that the team always appreciates you. So we were finishing up our NFL show over there, and now I'm here to let everybody know I applied for Alabama today. I sent in my transcript.
Oh man, that's pretty cool, man. Like, congrats.
Yes, sir. So, for those that are listening in for the first time, and those that listen in all the ways, I am going to try to do communications. They don't have a specific program for radio, which I want to do really bad. So my dream is to own my own radio station, not like a full-on station, but have like a show on the radio that's in Alabama. I'd like to be a part of the one that does the softball and have a show on there after the games are over, or baseball, and really call that. I like what most people don't know is I'm more willing to go to our other sports events like softball, baseball, soccer, basketball, tennis, those kind of ones. Football is awesome, and I'll always follow it to the day I croak. But again, I just like those ones because I grew up playing them. So, but I'm excited for it, and I'm excited for the season, and ready to see what our football team brings to the table this year.
Well, and speaking of our baseball team, how's it doing so far?
So we have only lost, let me see, one, two, three. We've only lost, I think, 3 games, maybe. I know we lost one. We threw the Sunday game to Dallas Baptist when I came back from Tuscaloosa, and we lost the Saturday and Sunday matches between, or excuse me, the Friday and Saturday match between Tennessee. So, and then we threw away one of the games against Oklahoma, but we won 2 out of the 3 to get the job done. So we are like 25-4. That I should know because I watch this every single match. But yeah, we're about 25-4. And it was the best start. We went like 17-0, 16-0, one of the best starts in program history. We tried to do that against with Brad Bohannon before he cheated on us, but we actually ended up losing to one of those Ivy League schools, and I'm trying to remember who it was. Bellevue or something like that. I'm probably wrong, but anyways, yeah. So we weren't exactly terrible with Brad Bohannon either. We always made the tournament since I was watching, and we've been a marked improvement with um Rob Vaughn, but we definitely have a long season to go. We need to beat. We play Auburn this weekend. And so we need to beat them to make a statement. Then the biggest test is going to be Georgia. I watched Georgia play against Auburn this past Saturday in Daphne, Alabama, and Georgia looks like the real deal. They took Alton Davis from us last year. Now, rumor has it, low key insider, they didn't want to extend his NIL because he was also throwing games for us as well, meaning we were losing games, and because of Alton Davis, like you could sit there and say that was an Alton Davis mistake. Now, if you know who Pete Fairbanks is in the MLB with the Tampa Bay Rays, he kind of mirrors that guy in a sense. They both come in as a closer. They both have this kind of the same size. They're both and Pete Fairbanks was also an SEC guy. He pitched at Missouri. So we'll definitely have to see what happens the rest of the way. But Georgia, if we can get past Georgia, I think we have a slew shot, and so would LSU. But I still think this year Georgia's one of the tougher teams in the conference. So we'll see what happens.
Uh, I will say though, it'll be interesting to see what happens in baseball. Like, are we good enough to win the College World Series this season?
So I'll break this down to everybody listening to you, brother, in a sense that we definitely have the team to do it with Norton, Richie Bottomalo Jr., Will Hodo. We've got really good pitching from Zane Adams, Bobby Alcock, and also Riley Quick. Now everybody keeps talking about Riley Quick, right? Got last year. His season was cut short due to TJ surgery, Tommy John surgery. And if you don't know what Tommy John surgery is or the injury, Google it and look up a photo. It is one of the most brutal baseball injuries I have ever seen. It can end your career if you're not careful and if you end up having two stints of Tommy John, not like back to back, but in your career, you have Tommy John more than once, you can more times out of none lose end your career. So that's another one. And then we've got a lot of other good guys like the one and only Justin LeBron, who in Hagen Banks. The list goes on of just players that we have that are. This is a deep roster and one of the deepest that we've had in a very long time. One of the guys I wish we still had, he transferred to Florida, but he's from Florida originally. They recruited him out of Florida, down South Florida, was Colby Shelton. I still wish we had him and Drew Williamson, but Williamson graduated. Shelton transferred to be closer to home, so I don't blame him for that. But we definitely have a deep roster to get to the World Series. Now, if we beat Georgia and LSU, I definitely think we have a remote chance. But again, some of these other schools, like these Dallas Baptists and these like Lipscombs, not saying Lipscomb for sure, but I guess you can get the idea I'm coming with, where these smaller schools that don't really have a football program, or a basketball, but they're known for baseball or softball or something in that nature. These kind of schools are no joke too. And what I mean is they're scary teams. So if you're looking for a very, very good season, we're gonna have to beat at least to win the series to LSU and Georgia. And if we can do that, I think that because the season before last, LSU was coming off the World Series national champs. Last year was Tennessee. They had projected this year Georgia and LSU to come back and do it again, or we were in the mix somewhat. But I haven't seen us. You know, see, winning the series against A&M gave me like sweeping gave me faith, and then if we could have beat Tennessee, I would have said maybe. But their coach over there is a stud. He is absolutely incredible. He's a young guy, sort of the same age as Rob Vaughn, but Vitale is no joke, and they're going to be ready to swing too. So we definitely got to get hot and win these next series coming up, and this will be, excuse me, a big one against Auburn because it's an in-state rival. We're in Auburn. They're going to be upset and pissed off. They just got beat by Georgia. They're going to want to play hard, and we just got to play consistently. But we did win regular season midweek game against Samford, which I thought was pretty good. Now, it was a payday for Samford. So what I mean by that is Samford wasn't projected to win in baseball against us, but they definitely made it a game. We won 11-9, so we still got the job done, but it was a payday for them, more equipment, travel, things like that. So
There we go, man. Well, and I was gonna say, because like it's a shame that we lost to Duke last Saturday, but I feel like we used up too much of our juicy juice on BYU.
yeah, so what I was going to say about that is that you hit the nail on the head. We basically shot about, 30% from the floor against BYU. Against um, Duke, we were about less than that, like maybe 10, 11, 12, 13%. And I'm ballparking it. We weren't quite 25, 30% like we were in the BYU game. But BYU also, and I don't mean this in any way to disrespect BYU because they got to that position for a reason. They're a very tough and talented team, and they got the number one recruit coming in that went on First Take that we talked about a couple shows ago. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what they do moving forward. But we weren't going to put up that same performance against a Duke team. They reminded me of what UConn was last year, where they had such a stout team to where unless we shot the same from the floor, and I'll stand on this statement when I make it. If we would have shot at least 30% from the floor, about the same we did with BYU or against BYU, I could have said, hey, we were in the mix to win the national championship. Seriously, because that would have given people a head, that people would have turned heads and go, wow, this team we shoot the ball really well. We're very good. Now our biggest problem was this. Mark Sears had like 34 minutes on the court and only averaged like 9 points. So that's definitely, or excuse me, 6 points, not nine. He averaged six. So again, you're sitting back looking at a guy like that. It's supposed to be the number one team, and at some point we've been inconsistent. We've had stretches where we look really good and then stretches where we look really, really weak. And that's the problem. Moving forward, I think we could have, if we would have gotten out of the round against Duke and had to play Houston, we've already beaten Houston before when Kelvin Sampson, so I think we could have done it again. But this Duke team, Kneppel and the really good freshman from Africa and their really good point guard, those guys, and Cooper Flag, those four guys, and that's the kind of thing that I was making a point at with a lot of different people is everybody's was rooting and chirping Cooper Flag all season. Cooper Flag, Cooper Flag, Cooper Flag. But what you also have to look at is when Cooper Flag got hurt, John Shire was able to see what else he had to play with. And he had Kneppel and those other guys, that really good freshman point guard that said, hey, we want it just as bad as Flag does. So in our defense, we had, and I even said it, we needed a couple of our our role player guys to come in and have a big game, like Jaron Stevenson. Even though he was starting most of the season, to me, he was a role player because games he started, he wasn't giving you what Sears and Nelson were averaging, or LeBaron Philon, or even Aiden Holloway. So you also needed a good game from who? Mo Diabate, Aiden Sherrill, Darian Reed, and it was just non-existent. I think the best leading scorer for us was LeBaron Philon with like what 16, 17 on 30 something minutes, and he got in double digits. But this kind of Duke team, somebody in my opinion would have at least had to give you a Janai Broom kind of game with like 20, 25 points to straight on say, hey, we want this just as bad. But when you shoot weak from the field like that, and you're only shooting 30, it's just not gonna get you over the hump against a really stout Duke team. So, and
Agreed.
yeah, a lot of people think that Duke's the favorite. I'll still stand on this and say until I see them beat, I've got Florida as my favorite to win it all. I think this Florida team is absolutely stacked, and we'll see what happens. But that's my take so far.
Well, I mean, it's strange that this is the second time in March Madness history that we got all 4 1 seeds. And, I think this year's a first in men's college basketball, but we got like an SEC rematch. You don't see that every year.
Yeah, and the other thing too that I saw that the Godfather of SEC, I want to comment on that take too because you bring up a very very good point. We had a good team last year with bench production, and I'll stand on that. Our bench production last year was top notch. But real quick, I'll go back to your statement. We could have had a 1 seed if we would have won against Florida and would have won the tournament. But because we failed to do both of those, it made me sit back and go, yeah. And then losing to Tennessee, we would have had a better shot to get a 1 seed as well. But it's nice. I mean, Tennessee and Kentucky playing in the tournament was very nice. Get to see what they bring to the table. And then Florida Auburn's going to be interesting to see because this is a make or break year for Auburn and Bruce Pearl. We already know what Florida brings to the table. They beat Auburn once before. And
And they smacked us off the face of the earth.
yep, they sure did. But real quick, back to what Godfather said. He makes a great point. Last year we had guys like Wagi. We had No, we didn't. That was the year before. We had Wagi. We had Aaron Estrada. We had who else did we have last year? We had um Nelson. We had Sears. We didn't have Aiden Holloway, which I think last year's team adding Aiden Holloway to the mix, we probably could have been deep enough to even go farther and beat UConn and get to the championship. We also had, I'm trying to think of who else we even had last year that left us because we had a couple guys. Um, but I can definitely say that he exactly makes a great point. That team last year, bench wise, was a lot more stronger. Now, I do think that later on in the season, Cliff Amari definitely started playing what they paid him. At first, I was thinking, oh shoot, do we need to switch him for Aiden Sherrill? And I was like, after midway towards the end of the season, I was like, yeah, this is the Cliff Amari that they got from Rutgers that they paid the money to. So I like the effort, but Godfather makes a good point. I think if we would have had some of these guys coming off the bench for us this past year or this year, we could have been a little bit more competitive against Duke. I kind of wish, and one of the things I'll share with everyone, I don't know if y'all knew this, but Wagi left because he wasn't going to get the same kind of money that he was getting last year with us. And he also thought that Oklahoma was going to pay. I think he picked a better NIL up with Oklahoma and Porter Mosier over there. So after the season ended, he immediately put his name in the portal because he's thinking to himself, they're going to replace me like that. And that's the thing that happens with Bama guys is if you leave or you go to the draft, transfer or draft, you can be replaced like that. That's just how good that Nate Oates is. And rumor has it that we're going to get Rylan. Now, I don't know how true this is, but they're saying we could get Rylan Griffin back. And Sam Walters is also in the portal as well from Michigan. Now, whether he decides to come back or not, it's a different story. But they've definitely said that if either brother wants to come back to the Tuscaloosa, they'll definitely give them at some sort of an NIL. But I don't know. I think when you leave us once, it's kind of like, you had cold feet or something like that. I definitely know Nick Pringle's not coming back. Nick Pringle and Nate Oates had a lot of tension last year, and there's no way that either. I mean, I know that Nick could probably pick his slack back up and get his attitude in check. He would be a very good player for us. But you got to be super careful with a guy like that, because if him and Nate Oates are having tension, 9 times out of 10, you're leaving because you didn't like something that a guy did. And I don't see why you didn't like Nate Oates or what happened, because I think it speaks for himself. After the tournament, a lot of these um, guys were saying how much they loved playing for Coach Oates, and how if they would have been recruited to Bama like Cliff Amari originally, he would have went to Bama in a heartbeat. But we'll see what happens.
That is for sure, man. And before we get to our next caller, congrats on the transcript. And here's to you becoming the next student at Alabama at the University of Alabama.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm going to try to do the best I can. And to Godfather and everybody who's a faithful, we thank you much for listening in. Bama, we thank you so much. It means everything. Keep on supporting the Tide in every way you can. And one real quick thing I want to share with everybody is, if you live in the Alabama area or anywhere close to it, Yay Alabama already did the Yay Alabama vodka, but they also started doing Yay Alabama water. So if you're looking into something like that, I'm thinking about getting some myself from a guy. He's on X with us, Ray. He does a bunch of AI graphics and stuff
Oh,
like that.
wow. Oh, we need to
So
get him to come on in on the Alabama call-in show next Thursday.
yeah, I'll try to see if he'll come on. But with that being said, he's a very good guy. He does a lot of AI graphics. So Ray McDuffie AI, have a chance to connect with him. He's one of my brothers for sure. Crimson Tide faithful. But appreciate you guys having me on as always. And remember, roll Tide, everyone. And
Roll Tide.
appreciate the support, Godfather. It means the world. And if there's anything I can do to help you guys, just let me know. And if Jeffrey comes on later on, tell him I'm sorry I missed him, but we'll chat with him soon.
Absolutely. It may be sooner than next Thursday for sure.
Absolutely. See you guys later. Roll Tide.
See you soon. Talk to you soon. And that was Alabama Richie coming on in from Wager Wire and becoming the next online student for the University of Alabama. And we have our next caller. He is the co-host of the Ohio State Prime Time Live Show Monday nights and the Ohio State Call-In Show. And he's the co-host of the Scarlet and Blue Show with Bryce Sack. He's the one and only himself, Garrison Gaddy. How are you doing tonight, good buddy?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. How's the call-in show tonight?
Man, I'm really happy, since we've, gone on the network and just been taking it over. This was the first time on our call-in show it was from wire to wire. So that was really cool, man. People join the show, and then honestly though, it's been a busy day. And I thought about this while you and Alabama Richie were talking. By the way, congratulations, Richie, on going to Alabama, man. It's awesome. Congratulations on that. I was like, doggone it. I said, I've been on Mark's show today. And I had mine. And I watched some of TJ's.
You've been on a media tour.
Yeah, I saw you on House of Hell. Let me go talk to my guy.
I got coming up or something. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. I've been all over the network today.
Oh man, that's funny.
You doing well though?
Huh?
You doing well?
Absolutely, man. How was the homework with the nephew? How'd that go last week?
Oh man, it went well. That's my little cousin EJ, man. He's second grade. just helping him out. We were going through add nouns and adverbs. We were going through, and then math. So it's fun, man. Because like when my nephew was in second grade, I was overseas. So I never. So it was really cool. Like he just like a nephew of mine, but he's my cousin. But it was fun. It was fun. Yeah.
Oh, there you go, man. There's the little you got that little grammar playlist saved up from Schoolhouse Rock. If you ever need to remember stuff about adverbs and nouns, there's the little Schoolhouse
Jackson,
Rock.
it was you. Okay, wait, all right. Before we get to football, my roommate's mom is a teacher, and I was just asking her for pointers, and she was like, "Play Schoolhouse Rock." And I said, "Man," I said, someone said that to me, and I don't remember who said it, and it was you. It was you last night. I said that to you. That's funny. Yeah, but no, that's what she said. She said, "Play Schoolhouse Rock." So I was like, "All right, I'm going to do it." So.
There
All
you
right,
go.
this weekend and watch it because I think it's enjoyable to watch. So.
Oh man, like it's always pretty fun. Like
Yeah.
I like the big fat dude who's like the conductor. He's got those little glasses on. He's like, yep, he's just vibing. He's got the little lamp. He's just going on his little train. Just like
Junction, what's your function?
Looking at words or phrases and clauses.
Oh man, to be a '90s kid.
Oh
But,
man.
yeah.
Man. I'm basically a 90s baby. So it's like, oh man, it's like I miss the days of VHS and Blu-ray and DVD already. It's like I'm like an old man in a young man's body.
I had some questions for you. Because I was, I jumped in. I was like, I'm gonna. Well, before I jumped on, I was watching for like 5 minutes, and I was gonna type something. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go look at something, then I'm gonna call in. So, on your guys' schedule this upcoming year, you go to start the season. You go to Florida State, right?
That's right.
Then you got UL Monroe. You got Wisconsin at home. Then you go to Georgia, big game, of course, because we don't get to see Alabama, Georgia all the time. Vandy at Missouri, and then there's a 4-game stretch that I wanted to talk to you about.
Ooh.
Because at worst, I think Florida State's a win. I think Monroe's a win. I think Wisconsin's a win. Georgia, that's a toss up because I don't believe in what they got right now at quarterback. I would rather be in Alabama's position than be Georgia's position this upcoming season. Vanderbilt's win. So there's a chance you can go into this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6-0. Okay.
Okay.
And then you got Tennessee at home. You got them coming to your crib, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, the next week, there's no buys. You go to South Carolina. And then the next week you come back home. You got LSU. And then you finish this 4-game stretch off with Oklahoma in the 10th game of the year, which by that time I would expect the defense is going to be good, and they had the best player in the portal at quarterback. By then he should be comfortable.
John Mater.
What do you think about that 4-game stretch?
I'm going to be honest. I'm really scared of that South Carolina game. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm a little bit worried about Tennessee, but not as scared of them as I am South Carolina. Why? Mm-hmm. Because we've got that huge winning streak in Tuscaloosa against Tennessee. The last time we lost to them in Tuscaloosa was in 2003, where we went to 5 overtimes. South Carolina, on the other hand, terrifies the living daylights out of me on account of the fact that we almost blew it last season against the Gamecocks. We shouldn't have even won that game. Like, we botched an onside kick recovery against them. We got lucky against this team. And this year, we may not be so lucky against them. And LSU, I just think they're just going to come up short again. They're going to be going 9-3 with Brian Kelly, And if they do go 10-2, if they go to the playoffs, if they do somehow beat us, that's all everybody's going to talk about. Oh, LSU beat Alabama. LSU beat Alabama. And then what will happen is they'll stink it up in the playoffs if they do make it. Oklahoma, if they're utilized correctly.
You still win that, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like they couldn't intimidate us in Baton Rouge. They're not going to be Nussmeier. I don't like what they're going. I don't like what they're going to do against Clemson. I think Clemson's going to smack them.
You think so? Oh, you want to hear? You want to hear some hot takes of mine? I have some hot SEC takes.
Okay.
But let's stay. I'm sorry, not one SEC one I want to talk to you about, but I want to get to this Clemson one. I think there's a chance they might be like a top 3 team this season.
Oh wow!
And I've been part of it. For all the bad talking we give about Dabo Swinney, he still can't be denied, right? He's a 2-time champ. Now he has some he's had some down years here, but the down years we're talking 9 wins, 10 wins, but you're also not winning your conference and things of that nature, or you're getting blown out in the bowl game. But I think you got your quarterback. He showed in the playoffs that he can go out there and throw the ball around the yard. It's going to be a very veteran team. I don't know, man. I think Clemson can. And honestly, it's because when you look around the college football landscape, right? There's a lot changing, Jackson. Alabama's going to be a new team. Ohio State's going to be a new team. Notre Dame's going to be a new team. Georgia's going to be a new team. Tennessee won't, but I can care less about Tennessee. Oregon's going to be a new team. Michigan's going to be there's a lot of newness around here. Clemson and Penn State, man. Clemson and Penn State.
Yeah, I feel like Penn State, I think it's going to be another year where they disappoint against Ohio State. And then there's going to be some people just grabbing the torches and pitchforks to the point where they even forget that Penn State's still in the playoff race. Then they get into playoffs, and I would not be surprised if they have a huge run for some reason. It's going to be the same thing, kind of like Ohio State last year. Some people were throwing the torches, pitchforks, throwing the baby out with the bathwater on Ryan Day. And it's like I said, like on our Jack Sewing episode together a few weeks back, and throughout numerous call-ins on The Voice of College Football, I've said that Ryan Day has had this comparison to Ara Parseghi and Dabo Swinney. Why? Because Ohio State losing to Michigan, everybody's thinking about that. They're not thinking about the 9 other great things. Ara Parseghi, Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. Notre Dame had a losing streak against USC.
And what year was that again?
Notre Dame was losing to USC in 1974. They were losing 1972, 1971, 1970. They tied in 1968 and 69. Lost in 1967, and they lost in the first year of the Ara Parseghi year.
Hearing that the second time, I'm still stunned by that you know all that. I'm still stunned.
Well, 1960.
That's the second time you told me this. I'm still stunned.
Oh, sorry, man. And let's see, 65 was the only year Notre Dame beating USC did not result in a national title later that season. That's the funny part. And Dabo Swinney, and some people have forgotten about this, but there were a lot of people that gave Dabo a lot of hell.
Yeah.
For Clemson losing to South Carolina. They lost 5 straight times when they played South Carolina under Spurrier. Now, I mean, people are not going to be as hard on him because it's like it just kind of feels like the Clemson South Carolina rivalry is taking a little bit of a backseat.
It has. Since Spurrier left, it has.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like Beamer's giving Dabo a hard time.
Yeah.
He's giving him a hard time. But I don't think people are going to be mad at Dabo like they were in 2014 for losing to South Carolina 5 straight years. That's
Well,
nuts.
you know what, Jackson? Actually, today, I forgot who we were talking about. It was had something with South Carolina. I commented right under it. I said, poverty program on the rise, buy stock. Buy stock. I'm a huge fan of Beamer. Huge fan. You know, I'm 31 years old, so I grew up watching Virginia Tech in those Beamer years when they had guys like Macho Harris on the team and at corner like that. I used to love watching those teams, man. And so, no, I really want Beamer to succeed, and I think he's doing a great job there. And then I have this for you. And actually, I'm going to pose this as a question to you, Jackson. Okay.
Okay.
Would you be surprised if, and this is like hoping that he's healthy all season. And honestly, I see a guy of the SEC. I want to know what you think also here. Like, I really want to know. Would you be surprised if I told you that at the end of the season, or at some point in the season, that I shouldn't be forgetting his name, the quarterback from Florida,
DJ Lagway.
DJ Lagway. At some point in the season, whether it be middle, early, late, would you be surprised if I told you that he was the best quarterback in the country?
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
And it's not even that close. And that, not necessarily saying that he is these players, he is because he's his own player, but he has like a Cam Newton type of feel, a Vince Young type of feel, a Tim Tebow feel, if you may. Where, and mind you, this Florida team has talent.
Mm-hmm.
It's a question of can their coach? But would you be surprised if I told you that he's in a situation where, yeah, you might have the better team, but he's so doggone good, he's gonna win the game anyways? Would you be surprised?
Nah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, look at that winning streak from last season. Yeah, people were down and out on Florida when they lost to Texas. They're like, why did they say they're keeping Napier again? That's dumb. That's a bad move. Then what happens? Huge win over LSU. Huge win over Ole Miss. You beat Florida State, and you're supposed to. Mm-hmm. Then you smack Tulane off face the earth. Okay, well, Florida made the right move, I guess. That's right. What a lot of people were saying. And what some of those naysayers were forgetting was when DJ Lagway stepped in against Tennessee, they almost defeated them in Knoxville. And had DJ Lagway been able to play the full game against Georgia, they would have upset the Bulldogs. That's something I tend to think about. I feel like this year.
I think so.
And here's a hot take for you, Garrison.
Hear it.
I think this year could be the year Florida upsets Georgia and ends that losing streak against them. What'd you say?
I think it's happening. I have Florida getting the 9 wins next season.
That wouldn't surprise me. And it kind of feels like we're going to see them run the state of Florida again because, like, they'll defeat Miami. Like, Miami's favored. They'll blow it once again. And then you're going to be seeing Florida State. I mean, I really don't know what's up with them, but they're going to be crawly flopping around, throwing their little hissy fits at the grocery store saying they're going to leave the ACC. Like, it's like, geez, either say you're staying or you're leaving. Stop with this crap, Florida State.
I agree.
It's like conference realignment's not going to happen for another 5 years at the very least. Fingers crossed. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
It definitely, yeah. I think next season is going to be really interesting. It's going to be because there's, like I said, a lot of newness to the game. So,
Well,
All right,
season's coming soon. It's only 142 days till week 0. 142 days, 147 days till week 1, and the 24-hour live show from Mark Rogers and friends at the Voice of College Football, and 149 days till Ohio State, Texas, and Alabama, Florida State. And Garrison, what have you got going on the Scarlet and Blue show with your buddy Bryce Sack?
So we are actually talking either tomorrow or this weekend. We plan on coming back here in the probably within the next month, next few weeks. Like that. That's as soon. Bryce will be. Bryce has joined the network, so he will actually have his show starts. It's on next Monday. So on the Michigan, the Voice of College Football.
Ooh.
So that's gonna be really cool. Really looking forward to seeing those two guys do that. But yeah, it's coming back soon.
Oh man, I'm excited to see what Bryce has cooking. Like, I mean, Michigan at the Voice of College Football. Let's go.
It's gonna be cool, man. I'm gonna love it. It's gonna be really cool.
Oh man,
and over at for us, man, Mondays you can find myself and Ryan Stano at 8 o'clock on Mondays at Ohio State Prime Time Live, and then on Thursdays you can find us at 8 o'clock also for the call-in show. Whatever fan base you are, we love to have you. The network's for everybody. This is a fan-driven network, and I love it. Also on Wednesdays, you can catch Mike and Terry on our new show on Ohio State, the Voice of College Football. The world famous Buckeye Show. It's awesome to hear those guys. They have a different perspective, and I've been listening to them for a year now, so it's really cool. And then every other Tuesday, but this Tuesday, you can find myself and Mike on the Buckeye Brigade with our guys Christopher Drew, from Juck on Bucks, B Moses from Scoop, and then also Ron from Best Damn Media.
Oh, there we go. I mean, that's like a star lineup. I'm so excited. I'm always excited about seeing that.
The growth that's happened over the last few months, I know that, like, for us, has been really cool, and we're excited. We just hit 9,000 subscribers, so that was really cool. Just dropped memberships. Yeah, a lot happening, and I can't wait for the rest of the network to just all be right there. It's gonna be full. It's gonna be cool.
Oh, everybody here at the network's gonna get there. We know it for sure. We're going to keep rocking and rolling, and we're going to be playing Working for the Weekend as our background music, getting it rocking and rolling. And, best of luck, and you have an awesome week. I'll be seeing you soon, good buddy.
Oh, and before I go, because I'm always going to leave your show like this.
It's all right.
Roll Tide! Roll.
There we go. Roll Tide. And that was our friend Garrison Gaddy from Ohio State at the Voice of College Football and the Scarlet and Blue show. He is a freaking magician there. And ladies and gentlemen, our co-host of the call-in show has come back from the bat signal. Jeffrey at Only Talk Sports. Man, how have you been? You got a little facial hair growing, man.
Oh, thanks. Not a lot, but yeah, a little bit. But I'm sorry that I was late tonight. I had some obligations, so finally here. Can't wait to talk Alabama football and basketball, whatever we're going to be talking about. We just had the Ohio State co-host on just now, and he's a great friend of the Voice of College Football community, great contributor. We got a lot of new faces, a lot of new shows around the Voice of College Football, so it's great to see new faces, meet new people for sure. Mark's got an amazing community, so that's really cool. And but definitely glad to arrive. Better late than never, as one would say, right?
There we go. And we got Tennessee and LSU people there at the Voice of College Football now. That's gonna be awesome. So it's like, expect seeing more crossovers.
What have I missed? What have I missed so far though? Anything too crazy?
Nah. Bama Richie called in, so there's
cool.
that. You did miss the Garrison call in, but everybody understands, but you did miss some messages from the Godfather of the SC, and there's a message from our buddy Dave E giving out a Roll Tide.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, rain, sleet, sun, hail, whatever you want to call it. It's always a Roll Tide, right? Always
Yep.
Roll Tide. Even when we get beat by 20 by Duke, it's still Roll Tide.
Oh yeah, agreed. And we got the trivia part of the show tonight. Got the IT guy coming in for the Stump Jackson Jeffrey hour of the show.
Hey guys,
How you
I'm
doing,
getting
J-Dog?
not good. I'm getting stumped by this thing. It will not cooperate with me whatsoever. I've been arguing with it all morning.
Mm. That's technology right there.
I'm telling you, it's gotten so smart it's stupid.
That's how like the human experience, right? Like when we get too big for our britches, when we get too smart, and that's when we're sometimes at our dumbest state.
Yeah. Oh man. So let me try something again here.
All right.
Whole new thing. I think I might have asked it to do too deep of a dive into it.
Right.
Not that advanced yet, I guess, right?
Right. Well, I'm trying to do it for WNBA, so it's probably what's throwing it off.
Oh, well, there's probably not enough info, right?
Yeah,
Nope.
I mean, it only gave me like 10 questions. I'm like, that's it? And
I mean, there's more info now than there used to, but like I
Yeah.
guess, well,
I figured
like
I could,
knowledge, but yeah, it's still not a lot.
I figured I could at least get 50 questions, but I think it's going to work this time.
Hmm.
I guess it's recovering from having a few too many beers.
I don't know about that.
Doesn't sound that recovered.
It's thinking. Oh, well, it looks like it's got up to at least 27 already. So how's the weather?
It's all good for now.
Yeah, where I'm at, it's fine. It's getting warm. Like it's in the 80s right now, so it's starting to feel like summer.
It's warm.
Like
It warmed up here. It got up to almost 60 yesterday. It's supposed to get up to 63 today, but then come this weekend, it's going to drop and it's supposed to snow. They're expecting 2 inches of snow by Sunday. So
I hate when that happens, when it's like a 30-degree temperature change or so in like a day or two. I can't stand that because it throws your immune system off, and like you just don't. It just feels terrible.
yeah. Okay. Oh wow. All right, I think we can get started.
all right.
Sweet.
Totally.
Totally, like for sure.
Uh-huh.
You have you seen that movie, Jeffrey? Valley Girls?
I think so.
It's way before your time, but
Yeah, me and Jackson do watch a lot of old media, so we like watching a lot of that stuff. It's better than the stuff coming out today. I mean, I will say.
I'm just curious about that Michael Larson movie that's out in theaters in a couple weeks from now. Like
Every now and then there's a good movie that comes out, but it's not common.
I don't know.
all right, I don't have time to argue with this thing. I try to get it to do like easy, medium, hard, like randomly through, but it gave me in blocks. So we're going to go easy, then into medium, then hard. So sorry
As we
about
know,
that.
though, sometimes the easy ones are hard and the hard ones are easy. So
Yeah, I did see that last week. All right. What year was the WNBA founded?
I'm gonna say 1999.
It was
but
like
we're-
98, 99. It was in that range.
Oh, yeah.
96.
96.
Oh,
Man, we
there
were
you
close.
are.
It was in the 90s for sure. I knew that, but yeah.
Stumped you with an easy question right off the bat. Wow.
I don't watch the WNBA. I mean, like hardly ever.
All the people I know are like Caitlin Clark and Maya Moore, and I think pretty
Angel
soon
Reese.
Paige Buchers. But other than
Yeah.
that, well, she's not WNBA yet, but she will be.
Well,
So
you
how
also
many
have
teams-
Brittany Grinder.
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. All right, how many teams were in the WNBA when we first started in 1996?
I want to say 8, but what are the choices?
Well, you can go with that if you want.
Well, let's go with 8.
Hey,
All right, it was 8.
yeah, I mean, it sounds right. How many are there today? 12? Are there 12, Jackson?
I have no clue.
Yeah,
Probably like 14.
I have no
That
idea.
was a short season with 8 teams, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's even worse. That's like the UFL. It's the same as the UFL.
All right, which team won the first WNBA championship in 1997?
No clue. No clue.
Seattle Storm.
No. Here's your picks: New York Liberty, Los Angeles Sparks, Houston Comets, and Phoenix Mercury.
I'll
I'm gonna
go
go-
with the Las Vegas one
I'll go with Los Angeles.
or Los Angeles, whatever it was.
Houston Comets.
They don't. That team doesn't exist anymore. I know that for a fact. They don't have that team anymore. So I didn't even know. I thought that was a fake one.
All right, who's the WNBA's all-time leading scorer as of 2025?
Let's hear the choices.
Diana Taurasi,
I've seen that.
Sue Bird, Lisa Leslie, Maya Moore.
It's one of those first two.
I'm thinking it's Sue Bird.
It is Diana.
Yeah,
Whatever
it was
her
one of
last
those
name
first two. I almost said Sue, but the more I kept thinking, it was the first one because I think I've seen a leaderboard for that before, and it's her. I don't know how to pronounce her last name either, but yeah, I kind of knew that one. But I mean, I wasn't 100% sure, but I thought it was her.
Which player was the first to dunk in a WNBA game?
The fact that is a question. Is kind of funny. I'm sorry. Like, come on.
Oh man, when did that happen? In 2010?
Oh, no.
I have no idea, Jackson. Like you got to help us out here.
All right, so your choices are Brittany Griner, Lisa Leslie, Candace Parker, or Cheryl Swoops.
Brittany Griner.
No, it was Leslie or Lisa Leslie.
Brittany Griner's
Well, she's
not
gotta
tough
be
enough
big.
to
Well, she's
dunk.
bigger than Lisa.
Griner's not tough enough to dunk.
All right, what's the name of the WNBA's championship trophy?
Ooh.
I gotta
Yes,
hear the
yeah.
choices for this. Me and Jackson are illiterate. This is a great one. We know nothing.
We're only on the easy questions. All right.
These are the easy ones?
Yeah.
If you know the
All right.
WNBA, then they're easy.
The Summit, the Pinnacle, the Liberty Cup, the Commissioner's Cup.
Okay, Commissioner's Cup
The
and what else?
Commissioner's Cup.
No, that sounds like for golf.
I don't know.
What were the other ones?
You got the Summit, the Pinnacle, the Liberty Cup, and the Commissioner's Cup.
The Liberty Cup. I
No,
don't know.
it's the Summit.
What does that even mean?
Well, it's got to be like a respect. It's got
I
to
mean,
be
I
like
get
a,
like you're at the top, you top of the world, you won, but like, why is that the name?
it's
Like,
got to be like a reference to Pat Summit, even though she didn't coach in the
For real?
WNBA. Has to be.
I would not have made that connection, but you say that. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but not really either, because she was, like you said, she wasn't even in the WNBA.
True.
All right. Which city has never had a WNBA team? I'll give you the choices on that because that could be any of these. I mean, that's a very broad question. All right, Seattle, Miami, Chicago, or Atlanta?
Seattle, Miami, Chicago, or Atlanta.
Well, I know for a fact that it's either Miami or Atlanta. Which one do you think it is, Jackson?
I think it's Miami because I heard about a crazy rich lady owning an Atlanta team in 2020.
That's fair. Miami.
Yeah, so it's Miami.
Mm. Yeah, the other two have a team currently. So, like, yeah, it wasn't those two, but Jackson knew the scoop somehow in Atlanta. I wouldn't have known that. I knew it was one of those two, though.
I just remember hearing a news story about the Atlanta WNBA team a few years back.
All right, how many quarters are in the WNBA game?
4.
Hey, y'all got one.
Yay!
All right, which player has won the most WNBA MVP awards as of 2025?
Sue Bird.
I'll give you some choices here. Laura Jackson, Alina Del Donnie, Lisa Leslie, and Diane Taurasi.
Is it the Diana one again?
It's Laura Jackson.
Huh.
Or Lauren.
Just figured Diana because, like, I think she was the leading scorer. Like, hey, maybe, I don't know. Took a good crack at it.
All right, and this is your last chance on an easy question. What is the standard length of a WNBA quarter? Is it 8 minutes? All right, 10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, because they do it. They do 10, 10, 10, 10 with the 4 quarters, whereas we do 20 and 20 with. Well, in college basketball, it's 20 and 20, but in the NBA, it's 12 4 quarters, 12 minutes, and there's 4 of them. So the WNBA's length is like college basketball. College basketball game is split into 4 quarters to give them more rest, I guess. I don't know though.
Okay, we're going to get into the medium questions. Which team won 4 consecutive WNBA championships from 1997 to 2000?
Who are the? Is it the Los Angeles team?
No.
Wait, who did you say? Because the other question, the other question was who won the first one. So that means they won the first 4. So it was that other answer.
Yeah, you're on the right track.
What was that team, Jackson? We literally just heard it.
Houston.
It was the Houston team. It was the Houston team that doesn't exist anymore.
Comments.
There we go. See, I caught that.
Who was the first WNBA player to record a triple-double? You need some names?
Yes.
All right. Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, Cynthia Cooper, and Tamika Catchings.
Cynthia Cooper?
No.
The first one?
Yes, Cheryl Swoops.
There we go. See, I don't even know any of these people. I know like 2 of them sometimes, but like me and Jackson only know the modern ones. Yeah, we don't even know any of these people.
Oh, man. What year did the WNBA expand to include the Miami Soul and Portland Fire?
2005.
Close. Your choices are 1998, 2000, 2002, and 2004. Now, I say close. I didn't mean that close.
2002?
2000.
Oh, wow.
Wait. Didn't we say in the other question that Miami never had a team?
Yeah.
So you just said Miami was an expansion team, right? Did I hear that right?
Yeah. I didn't make this up.
Like I'm confused now. I'm trying to outsmart this thing, but I don't know.
It's not me, I promise you. I know nothing about this stuff.
Me neither. It's crazy.
I just read the questions. Which player holds the record for the most points scored in a single WNBA game?
We need names.
Liz Cambage, Aya Wilson, Brianna Stewart, and Deanna Taurasi.
Brianna Stewart.
No.
It's either it's Diana.
No, it's Liz Cambage.
Man,
How many points was it?
42.
Jack?
38.
Your closest is 53.
Daggum, 53. That's insane. Wow.
All right. Who was the president of the WNBA? Or the first president of the WNBA?
I don't know either. I wouldn't know the current or the first. So.
All right. You got your choices of Donna Orinder, Val Ackerman, Laura Ritchie, Lisa Borders.
And you gotta say the names one more time. I don't think it's Adam's answer.
It's not George W. Bush. Like that.
No.
Not.
It looked pretty ugly as a lady.
Don't give up.
The first one.
The third
No.
one.
It was the second one, Val Ackerman.
We have no clue. Me and Jackson are just we're swimming without water right now. I mean,
Val Ackerman.
It's not happening.
Wait a minute. She was president of the Big East.
All right. Which team relocated from Utah to San Antonio in 2003?
Give us some choices.
Utah Stars, Sacramento Monarchs, Detroit Shock, and Orlando Miracle.
The first one.
Correct. Utah Stars.
Yeah.
And they became, and what they become when they moved?
The Lady Spurs.
No.
The San Antonio Silver Stars.
Yeah, that's not how it works, Jackson. They don't just put the lady in front of the team of the men's team. Like, that doesn't happen. They do that in college basketball sometimes, but not in the WNBA. I could have told you that.
True.
Then I would know all the teams, right? Like, oh yeah, this team is just the yeah. Adam.
Oh yeah. Adam says there should be a team called the Wisconsin Mommies.
I can't even right now, dude. Like, no.
All right. How many teams competed in the WNBA of 2025?
8.
Negative.
12.
Correct. All right. Which player was the first to win both Rookie of the Year and MVP in the same season?
Is Caitlin Clark on one of those choices?
No.
We'll go with Adam's answer, Lisa Leslie.
Negative. It was Candace Parker.
Candace
Parker.
Parker. I know who that is. I mean,
You know
she's
what
a
year it was?
commentator. But I would not have said that. But I know who she is, though.
Oh, that's right. Candace Parker.
What year? Do you know what year it might have been?
2017?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
It's earlier than that.
2012?
2008.
Yeah, I was kind of young.
All right. What is the name of the WNBA's annual midseason tournament introduced in 2021?
I didn't even know they had a in-season tournament.
Here's your choices: the WNBA Challenge, the Commissioner's Cup, the Liberty Tournament, The Summit Series.
The
Liberty
Summit
Tournament.
Series.
It's the Commissioner's Cup.
And that's the one I said for the other one. And that one was wrong. Okay.
All right, your last question for medium questions. All right. Which player has the most career assists in WNBA history as of 2025?
Hmm. Is Candace Parker on one of those names or no?
No. Your choices are Sue Bird, Ticha, Peniciero, Courtney Vandersloot, and Deanna Taurasi.
I'm gonna go with Sue Bird.
Yeah, be correct.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sue Bird or Diana.
Yeah, because her name's easier.
It's been one of those two with a lot of them.
She wins because her name's easier to pronounce.
Nah.
You can't get any easier than Sue Bird. That's pretty easy.
All right, now we're getting into the hard questions.
All right.
Yeah, I'll be shocked if we get any of these right.
All right, wouldn't that be crazy? Y'all get all these right. All right, which WNBA team was the first to win a championship after relocating?
What was that team called again? The Silver Stars.
Silver Stars.
Silver Stars.
No, it's not them. I'll give you choices. Your Detroit Shock, Seattle Storm, Sacramento Monarchs, and Connecticut Sun.
Seattle Storm.
Connecticut Sun.
Negative. It was the Detroit Shock.
Out of 4 questions, how did me and Jackson both get it wrong? Like, man.
All right, and they won it in 2003 after relocating from Tulsa.
Tulsa had a team? That's a terrible location. Watch somebody in the chats from Tulsa probably you watch, but literally, why would Tulsa have a team?
But you got to experiment first. You start somewhere low key, and then you move up.
That's fair. That is fair, I guess. Because I mean, like, there's nothing else major there, so it's kind of like its own thing, I guess. But still, not the biggest market.
Yeah. All right. Who was the first WNBA player to be named the All WNBA first team in 5 consecutive seasons?
Oh.
Your choices are Cheryl Swoops, Laura Jackson, Tamika Catchings, or Diana Taurasi.
Either Diana or Cheryl Swoop.
Cheryl Swoops.
How is Diana the all-time leading scorer, but she's not on like hardly any of the other answers? I picked her tons of times.
You got a 25% chance of getting it right. Yeah. All right. What year did the WNBA switch from 2 20-minute halves to 4 10-minute quarters?
I didn't know they originally went to 20 minutes.
I'm going to say 2002.
Negative. Your choices are 2000, 2004, 2006, and 2010.
2004.
And
2006.
Oh, man.
All right. Which player holds the record for most rebounds in a single WNBA season? Your choices are Tina Charles, Sylvia Fowles, Jonquel Jones, Lisa Leslie.
Lisa Leslie.
Sure.
No, it was Tina Charles.
I'm just going with Jackson. I have no idea. Dude, I don't know the WNBA, Adam. I'll admit I know nothing about the WNBA. When we were doing the college football ones, I got all the modern ones. Jackson got all the old ones. I mean, it's just the way that it is. With this, we don't know anything.
No.
Hey, she got 398 rebounds in 2010.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right. Who was the first international player to win the WNBA MVP award? Was it Laura Jackson, Alina Del Don, Maya Moore, Brittany Griner?
Brittany Griner.
Griner.
No, it was Laura Jackson or Lauren Jackson.
Okay.
You want to guess the year?
2005.
2006.
2003.
Jackson, we're trying, man. We are trying. Oh man.
This has been y'all worst night yet.
Yeah. When you said WNBA, I knew we were cooked. I was like, this is not good.
All right. Which team has the best regular season record in WNBA history? Is it Los Angeles Sparks, Minnesota Lynx, Seattle Storm, or Phoenix Mercury?
Phoenix
Seattle
Mercury.
Storm.
Negative.
Phoenix Mercury.
Yes. Do you know what the scoring year was?
No. 2008.
It was 29-5 in 2014. Or that's, I mean, not score, you know what I mean, season record. All right. Who was the first WNBA player to score 50 points in a game?
Oh my God.
Was it Diana Taurasi, Liz Cambridge, Rickwana Williams, or Aya Wilson?
Diana.
No.
No.
Wait a minute. Didn't we say someone scored 53?
Yeah, but this is not that one.
Okay. What were the other three again?
Okay, Diana Taurasi, Liz Cambridge, Rickwana Williams, and Aya
The
Wilson.
second one.
My dogs.
No, it was Rickwana Williams.
Okay.
He had 51 points in 2013.
Yeah, Adam says I got 0 questions right. Technically, I've gotten like 3 right. Because for one, I got the quarters right. I got the minutes right. And I got another one right, too, that Jackson missed. So I've gotten 3. I think Jackson's gotten like 4. But we're literally just guessing here. Like, so I've gotten 3 right. 3 that I legitimately knew.
And we don't even know if Gronk's even got it correct.
Yeah, no. I'm not even gonna bother to fact check it though.
Yeah,
Adam says my dog Skip.
That's a sad movie, by the way. That's a sad movie.
All right, which coast has the most WNBA championships as of 2025? Is it Cheryl Reeve, Van Kensler, Bill Lambier, or Michael Cooper?
The first one.
The fourth one.
Jeffrey got it right.
There you go.
All right.
I can't believe Bill Lambier was an option. Wasn't he the guy that threw the ball back in a famous clip? You know what I'm talking about, Jackson. Remember one of the feuds? He threw it at like Barkley or Shaq or something. That was Bill Lambier. You remember that play, right? That was iconic, man.
So, Jeffrey, you know how many championships and what team?
4 with the Mercury.
4 is correct. Minnesota Lynx.
Okay. I got 2 out of 3.
Wow. All right. What is the fewest points scored by a team in a WNBA game? Is it 45, 48, 50, 52?
45.
I was thinking less than 45, so I'm going to go with what Jeffrey said.
Yeah, it sounded right. Like, I'm sure it was low, so 45.
45. Do you know who it was? What teams it? It was, I'll just tell you, Chicago Sky versus Los Angeles Aces. And it was 2019.
We'll go with that.
Oh, me. All right. Which player was the first to win a Defensive Player of the Year and MVP in the same season? Choices: Tamika Catchings, Lisa Leslie, Lauren Jackson, or Cheryl Swoops?
Swoops.
Sure.
Nope. It was Tamika Catchings, and it was 2011 when she did that.
That would have been my second answer.
Yeah. You want to call it a dot, or you want to try to go on? That was the end of the hard ones. Now we're getting into game specific questions.
I mean,
Yep. Couple more.
We'll probably get them all wrong, but
We'll get to a couple more, then we'll get to our next callers.
All right. Who hit the game winning shot to give the Houston Comets the first ever WNBA championship?
Ooh.
Was it Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson, or Kim Perot?
I'm going to say Swoops.
sure.
It was Cynthia Cooper.
Cynthia!
How many points did Cynthia Cooper score in that game?
Probably like
33.
30.
What'd you say, Jack?
30.
It was 25.
Okay.
All right. 2004 WNBA Finals game 3. Which team? Oh, no, that's the third question. I'm sorry. All right. Which team won the 2004 WNBA Finals in the thrilling Game 3 overtime victory? Was it Seattle Storm, Connecticut Sun, Los Angeles Sparks, New York Liberty?
Connecticut Sun.
Jeffrey?
The Liberty.
Seattle Storm.
I've picked Seattle Storm like 3 times and I've been wrong.
I was thinking either Storm or Sun, to be honest.
Who was named the finals MVP for that series? Was it Sue Bird, Lauren Jackson, Betty Lennox, or Lisa Leslie?
Sue Bird.
Lisa
Yeah.
Leslie.
Betty Lennox. Yeah.
Don't know who that is.
All right. Which primary player scored 40 points in Game 3 to lead the Phoenix Mercury to their 3rd championship? Was it Diana Taurasi, Brittany Griner, Candice Dupree, or DeWanna Bonner?
The
Diana.
last one.
Who'd you say?
Jeffrey said Diana, and I said the last one.
Diana's right.
Finally.
You obviously watch more WNBA than Jack does.
Maybe about as much. Sliver.
All right. Who was the final score? Well, who was the final score? Well, that's a wrap. These 50 questions. Okay, never mind. Let's just move on. Let me find something else here. The wording on that was so weird. All right. Which player scored? This is talking about 2019 WNBA semifinals, Game 4. Which player scored 22 points in the 4th quarter to lead the Washington Mystics to a comeback win? Choices: Alina Del Donne, Emma Messiman, Christy Tolliver, and Ariel Powers.
I have no idea who any of
The
those
first one.
are.
Jeffrey?
The third one.
It was the last one. Ariel Powers.
I don't even know who that is.
Either. All right. How many points did the Mystics overcome in the 4th quarter to win the game?
15.
Jack?
16.
18, I'm sorry. It was 18.
Closer, but no cigar.
All right. I think we need to wrap this up. This is getting ridiculous at this point.
Oh man,
I'm
yeah.
surprised we've even gotten a few right, but I mean, when you guess, you'll get a few eventually.
Oh yeah.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
guys, I got to get ready for work.
All righty. We'll
Y'all got
we'll
to
be
get ready for
seeing you
bed,
next
and I got
week.
to get ready to work.
Yeah, we got a couple more callers, and then we'll be wrapping up. Definitely don't want to go too long. I've had a very long day, a long, very fulfilling day. So I'm wore out, but I got a little bit more juice in the tank.
There you go.
All right. All right. Well, I'll see y'all next Friday then.
We'll see you then.
Have a
All
great
right. Have
night.
a good.
Thanks for stumping us.
You got
Well,
us this time.
I'll try to bring it back to a level of, where it's not getting like, oh my God, y'all can't answer anything. All
We'll
right,
be
maybe we'll
seeing you,
just
Dad.
maybe we'll do NBA next time.
There we go. Well, playoffs are coming up, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. All right, guys, y'all have a good night, and I'll see y'all next Friday.
We'll see you soon.
Have a great night.
And we got the co-host of Scarlet Knights Live from Rutgers at the Voice of College Football. He is the one and only Adam Lamparello. Note to self, make sure you hire Adam Lamparello as your personal attorney if you can. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, it's great being part of the Rutgers show. And sure, if anybody needs some legal help, be sure to contact me. So one thing before I get to my comment, I'm a little bit disappointed in Jeffrey because he didn't get any questions right. And I thought it
I
was a
got like
trivia.
6.
I thought you were a trivia buff, and then all of a sudden you disappointed me. I was very concerned. But
Not WNBA experts at all, but me and Jackson
No way.
tried. I was surprised I got the few right that I did.
well, I got 0 right, so
I don't think anybody here watches the WNBA. I'm trying not to hate on them, but I'm just saying, like,
I need
nobody
to do
watches it
better
here.
about watching them, though. It's like I need to do better about that.
you know what the
You'll fall
WNBA is
asleep,
like?
Jackson.
The WNBA is like, I don't know if you ever saw the movie A League of Their Own. It was in the 40s and 50s when they were at war in World War II. They had women's baseball, and it was
Yeah.
fairly popular until the men came back. It's kind of I see the WNBA a little bit like that, but regardless. So here's the thing: rumors are that Ty Simpson is in the has a pretty strong hold on the starting job. Number one, how good do you think Ty Simpson really is? And do you think that Keelan Russell might transfer if he doesn't play this year?
I mean, the second answer is pretty cut and dry at this point, based on what we're seeing players do now more than ever before. I mean, guys are bolting to the portal even as starters. Caleb Downs left. You go to Ohio State. He started for Alabama. I know the coaching changed, but still, like we're seeing in college basketball, we're seeing in college football. I mean, Rutgers, Cliff Amori, he goes to Alabama. He started at Rutgers. You know, like you just lose guys regardless. So if you're losing guys that start for your program out of the blue, then yeah, if Keelan Russell doesn't play, he's going to leave. So I agree with that 100%. I don't think the odds of him staying, I don't know him personally. Maybe you know, he loves Bama, all that, but just again, the odds of that are not high anymore. I mean, we even had Ryan Williams rumors. So I would say yes, he would leave. I don't know how true the rumors are on Ty Simpson. I mean, again, Ty Simpson's play, it's been so limited. We don't know for sure how good he is. I think that if he wins the job, though, I don't know, honestly, if it speaks to him doing a lot better than expected or if Keelan Russell struggled. I think it would be more that Keelan Russell struggled to acclimate to the college game right off the bat, and that's why Ty Simpson would win the job if he does win it. But, yeah, I think Russell would transfer if he doesn't start.
So
Well, also, you know, I hear a lot of people. I know we talked about this on Monday, Jeffrey, where Drew DeArmond on where he went on college football ditching with TJ Pettinger said he thinks that Ty Simpson's going to win the job. And I know McElroy has been talking about that recently. And we worry about the future of Austin Mack Because it's like you don't want to have only 2 scholarship quarterbacks on your roster. You don't want that. That's what worries me.
Yeah, I think that Mac is probably going to transfer because I think Ty's going to get the nod, and I think Keelan's going to be number 2, and I think Mac in the number 3 spot is not going to want to stay. But one problem I have is with these kids these days. So this idea that Keelan Russell, he's going to transfer if he doesn't start. Well, I mean, how did his parents raise him? Like, you have to overcome adversity. You have to wait your turn. You have to persevere. Okay. You don't just walk away when you don't get what you want. And it worries me that these kids do not have the values that are going to serve them well in life after their football career ends. And I don't know when this started or why it happened. I mean, do you guys have any idea what happened to young people?
Well, I think, I mean, it's a
Look
boomer
at the
take,
people
but
around them.
I think social media is a big problem.
Yeah.
I don't think that helps. A lot of it's degenerate, and people see that stuff, and it's bad influence. I think also you're having, and again, another boomer take, people would say, but we're having younger parents now. I mean, these guys, like people my age, I know people my age that have parents in their late 30s, mid 30s, and that generation, they're not great parents overall. I can't say that the whole generation is not, because that's a lie. There are some good parents of that age range, but typically from what I've seen and observed, because I mean, you go to a grocery store and you see a mom in her mid 30s with a small kid, and the kid's being a brat. She doesn't give a crap, right? Like just put the phone in front of the 3-year-old and he'll shut up, right? It's like the parenting skills of mid 30s, low 30s, late 30s parents are majority bad. So, and you're seeing this with young kids, but it's like some of these people have 18-year-olds. They could be 38 years old and have an 18-year-old, some of them. So you're seeing that type of parenting go now into the guys that are going into college these days. And that's not good. I mean, back 10 years ago, you had people from the 70s and 80s that were having kids. And again, there were bad parents from those generations. There's bad parents in every generation. But I just don't think the parenting skills of younger people these days are good. And I think that doesn't help either. But also taking the parenting out of it, it's just you have a system set up for the player with NIL in the portal for them to do what they want. Like I said, starters are leaving. They might not even have a problem with the coach or the scheme or the system or anything, but they're like, hey, I see an opportunity here where I'm going to make more. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to leave. You're going to leave. And can you blame that player? No, because if you're at a job and you're making $20 an hour and another job offers you 25 to do the exact same thing that you're doing, you're going to take it.
Yeah, you're going to take it. Yeah, you're definitely going to take it, but I think what it's hurting is the players in the long run because
I agree.
And it's unfortunate about the parents because I can tell you in higher education, it really sucks to be a teacher right now because there's no accountability for these kids. And last thing I'll say is this: as far as it goes for 2025, I'm going to guess Alabama's going to go 9-3, and I'll tell you why. I think their defensive line and the linebackers are going to be good, but not elite. And I think that the defense is going to be solid, but not spectacular. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, I think that if Alabama's offense is not significantly improved, then for Alabama to be a elite team at all, or even close to it, they would have to have an elite defense. Alabama has not had an elite defense in years now.
No.
And in those best Saban teams, the defense was the best in college football. So, and like, I sound like a broken record when talking about Bama, but it's true. Alabama used to be able to get away with having a mid quarterback and could win it all.
Yeah.
We've done it several times with McCarron and Coker and all Mac Jones. We did it tons of times with mid quarterbacks, guys that really aren't good, but we did it because we had a couple great offensive pieces, and then that defense was just insane. Now our defense isn't there. It's just not. It's good, but it's not elite. And our offense is significantly, worse than it was, when we had the quartet of receivers. It's not that good anymore. So both sides of the ball have taken a step back. But if you're going to have an average offense, then your defense needs to be fantastic. We saw Iowa have one of the worst offenses in the history of modern college football, and they still won 9 games because they had the best defense in college football, or the second best defense that one year.
Yeah.
Now, only reason they went 9-3 was because they were in the West and because of the fact their defense was that good. But if they had had an average offense, that's a playoff team. But Alabama doesn't have an elite D. So if they had an elite defense, then they could make the playoffs easily with the offense that they project to have. Because I'm not seeing a whole lot of improvement from their offense this year. I don't see it.
Yeah.
I think they'll be a little better depending on if Ty Simpson or Keelan Russell really work out. But there's not a lot of improvements. They didn't really build around Ryan Williams much. They got one guy from Miami, one transfer receiver. It's like maybe he'll be all right, but he's not a stud. And then the running back room, not really improved. O-line, maybe, but it's not looking a whole lot better. So it's all going to really come down to if the quarterback's better and if the defense can step up. But I'm not super confident in either, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, that's a great analysis there. And I just worry that we're getting into maybe an era of mediocrity. I hope that doesn't happen. But, guys, thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it. Great show as always. I'll leave it to Caden. And, Caden, the last thing I'll say to you is Ohio State, they're going down this year, and they're going to lose in Ann Arbor. So thanks a lot, guys, and best to you.
Best to you, Adam. See you soon.
People subscribe to Rutgers at the voice of college football.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
And give him a follow on @/Twitter and on Instagram. Stay tuned for more. And we have Caden the Man calling in tonight on the 26th edition of the Alabama Call-In Show. How are you doing tonight, good buddy?
This, please, get Adam back in here. I got a few things to say to him.
Well, Adam just left. I'm sorry, man.
Adam, you better get back in here. You just let an Ohio State fan really a lesson right now.
Okay.
Anyways, how are we doing tonight?
Your volume's low. Can you turn it up?
My volume is all the way up. Can you not hear me?
I can hear you. Sounds a little down.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Adam, if you can hear the sound of my voice, please get back here immediately.
Okay.
Anyways, how are we doing tonight, Jackson and Jeffrey?
Oh, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good.
Honestly, as I said in the beginning of this morning's show, Adam, you can hear me.
Oh, God.
At the beginning of this show earlier this morning to Mark Rogers, everything is proceeding as I have foreseen. Well,
okay.
everything is proceeding as I have foreseen. Alabama's downfall is coming full circle.
Okay. Explain.
Notre Dame's downfall is coming full circle.
Okay. Explain why. Why is it going down circle in your eyes?
Because Alabama's not the same team as they once were, and
Saban's gone.
Certainly, Notre Dame is not the same team as they once were.
Well, you said you wanted to talk with Adam for a bit, right, Caden?
Yes, I did say that because I wanted to get a few things off my chest to him.
Well, good luck arguing with an attorney because you're gonna need it.
Yeah, so Caden, I came back on because of you. You invited me back on, so I appreciate that.
Well, at least you're the only person on here besides Mark Rogers that at least I find interesting.
Right.
But that's a whole nother subject. But I heard your little comments about my name earlier before I came on, and I found it interesting.
Well, Caden.
Go ahead.
Well, Caden has to be happy. I mean, he's got to be proud. His Buckeyes won the national championship last year. They had an incredible defense.
And says the man's team who has not beaten Ohio State is lacking a roster.
Well, I think, Caden. Here's the thing. Congratulations to Ohio State last year with that roster that they purchased. But Ohio State's going to be pretty. They're not.
Come on, keep going, son.
I don't know what he's talking about, but I like. He has a nice name, but is there a delay on this?
I'm letting you talk first.
Yeah, so Caden, here's the thing: the Buckeyes had a great year last year, amazing defense, but with all the players they bought are gone, and I think Ohio State comes back down to earth this year, loses in Ann Arbor, and has 2 losses, makes the playoffs, but goes out in the semifinals.
Possibility of that?
And
I
I
don't
think I asked
see.
my girlfriend to marry me, and she says maybe.
Well, what your prediction sounds a little out of context. Because let me remind you, Ohio State's not the only team that was backed up in a scenario such as this. Having a loss or two, winning a national championship. Also, Jackson's team's rival, Georgia, won a national championship, lost 10 starters, and still went out on a limb and beat the living crap out of every single one of their opponents. And as I said to Jackson and Jeffrey, his camera's off currently at the moment because I don't know why.
I'm still here. I'm just letting y'all go at it. I'm good.
Well, so let me ask you this, Caden. Do you think Ohio State would beat Georgia if they were in the championship game last year?
This year? Of course.
I think it would be very close. And I think, look, I give Ohio State credit for winning the national title. They were the best team. My only point is that I don't see them winning a national championship for a number of years because of the talent they've lost, which was very unique this year. I see Ohio State being a perennial playoff team, but not winning another national championship for 5 or 6 years.
But here's the thing: I see us winning another national championship this year. Why? Because we're a team that reloads. We're a team that will dominate. Now, has Rutgers won a national championship? No. Do you have a national championship ring at the moment? No. So I'll just tell you this: why don't you go back to Rutgers, go back behind your little desk there, and let us do the winning. I would appreciate that
You
very
know
much.
Adam's an Alabama fan, right?
Well,
What?
yeah.
What? He
Well,
doesn't have a national championship ring at the moment.
no, but I'll tell you something about Rutgers. What I'll say about Rutgers is this. Rutgers doesn't have the resources that Ohio State does to, buy players and get whoever they want. But for what they have been able to accomplish with their limited resources and how they've developed 2 and 3-star players to actually beat Miami in 2023, beat some pretty damn good teams this year, and have that magical 2006 season. I'll tell you something. Rutgers may not have a national championship ring, but I've got a team that, from the ground up fights, has grit, and competes with teams who have 2 or 3 times as many resources. And that's the team that I support.
And I still find you lacking a national championship ring.
Yes, I'm lacking a national championship ring, but I don't need a championship ring to know that Rutgers has played like champions. They are like David and Goliath, but they come in and they compete. They competed, and who did they defeat this year? They defeated Washington at home 21-18. They defeated Maryland. They were pretty close with USC, only lost by 7 to Nebraska. These are teams that have 2 and 3 times the amount of resources and attract 4 and 5-star recruits. That's a credit to their development and their program. And with the academics at Rutgers, it really is a good place to go for players. So I'm always going to champion the little guy who competes with the big guys when they don't have the money to do it, because that means they have heart. And you know what? Heart wins the day in life.
To the Godfather, I am not a Georgia fan. However, my friend who is a Georgia fan is listening to the show at the moment, and he just texted me and said that he wants me to tell Jackson George is going to absolutely destroy Alabama this year.
I think
Jackson,
you're right
that's a
about that.
message from that buddy.
They're not going to destroy them, but I think they're going to beat them.
Well, you can have your regular season wins. We'll just make sure we finish in the top 4 to get into the playoffs.
But Adam, here's the other thing. Ohio State has the rings. We have the recruits. We have the reloading term. We have the lock and load, lock down and load. We're the team that will go through anybody and anyone, anytime, anywhere. And we don't care who it is. You step up, we're putting you down. We put
Who's your
4 teams
quarterback?
down to win a national championship.
But who's
And let
your
me tell you this. I know it's going to be either Julian or Lincoln, but we'll see who it is.
I think
But-
the schedule this year for Ohio State is less favorable than it was last year. But Ohio State did deserve it last year. But this year, I don't see them winning it. I don't know who's going to win it. But I think Ohio State is going to go through 4 or 5 years where they're going to be in the playoffs. But there's such parity now. But a team like Rutgers, see, this is why parity in the transfer portal help Rutgers, because they may be in a position where they can snag a few 4 or 5 stars out of the transfer portal. You know, those 5 stars who don't start at Alabama or Michigan or Ohio State. And with the parity in the Big Ten coming, I would say we may not have a national championship ring now, but we may be doing special things in the next 2 to 3 years that are better than anything you've ever seen at Rutgers. So tune into the show and call in, please.
Adam, your Rutgers Knights are a long way away from hanging with Ohio State. But until then, I don't want to hear it from you, because you have to prove it against the big guys of the Big Ten, which is Ohio State. And until you do, then maybe, but not now and not never.
Rooting for a team that's no
Well, Caden, remember that game 2 years ago in Columbus? What did we lose? 31-16 or something? It was pretty darn close, better than a lot of other teams did. And we've got some good people from the portal. We've got more size on the defensive line, a returning quarterback who's very good, and a receiving core that has a lot of depth. So maybe we haven't competed in the past. But like I said, with the parity and the people we've gotten out of the portal, Ohio State could see an upset in the horseshoe as the Scarlet Knights pull off the biggest victory in history. And if they do, because I'll be in Columbus, I'll buy your drinks that night and I will help you cope.
See, here's the thing. I don't drink. And then here's the other thing. When you do come to Columbus and we beat the absolute living crap out of them Scarlet Knights, you'll be the one who's needing more tissues than me, because I'll be the one laughing when we whip y'all.
Listen, I'm going to be in Columbus for that game. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to German Village, that German restaurant. I'm going to enjoy the buffet, and I'm going to watch as Rutgers pulls off the shocking upset in Columbus and goes on to make the playoff next year. We're not going to see SMU. We're not going to see Indiana. We're not going to see Boise State. We're going to see the kids from the Garden State of New Jersey, where I grew up, because New Jersey people, they have hearts and they have guts and they have grit. And that is something that makes a team that doesn't have the players or the resources able to compete with the Ohio States.
But what I said earlier, Caden, there's nothing wrong with rooting for a team that's bad. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay that, you know, there's a team out there that a guy likes that will lose to Ohio State almost every time. I mean, I'm an Alabama fan myself, but I do like Indiana, and I know Indiana's no good. But it's just, you know, I think you're allowed to root for a bad team. Like, Adam knows that, like, Ohio State is infinitely better. Like, you know, he's still a knowledgeable football fan. Like, he's not He's not crazy or nothing. He just likes Rutgers. That's there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State's in a
It's not even a fair conversation. Like it'd be different. Like if you were talking to a Michigan fan, Cade, and like you're talking down, and that's fair. Like it's Michigan, Ohio State. They're two great programs, and y'all can dunk on each other. But dunking on Rutgers doesn't make sense. Like Rutgers isn't even in the same league. No one's even saying they're in the same league. Beating Rutgers doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, Jeffrey's right about that for now. But if I look back to the past, including 2006, Ohio State, Rutgers did beat Michigan. Rutgers did beat Miami in the Pinstripe Bowl. Rutgers only lost by 16 points to Ohio State in the Horseshoe 2 years ago. So yes, they're not in the same league, but guess what? They're closer than you think. And no, I didn't forget to take my meds today. I took my fish oil, CoQ10, and vitamin D3. I'm on a path to health.
Fish oil's good for the brain. It's definitely good for the brain. But before we get to our next caller, any final words?
I've got to run, guys. I just want to say, Caden, thanks for inviting me back on. And guys, thanks for having me back on the show.
Always.
Love you guys. Caden, best of luck this year. Hope to see you in Columbus.
We'll be seeing you, Adam.
Take care.
Have a good one, Adam.
And Caden, before we get to our next caller, any final words for the night?
Jeffrey, here's a little piece of advice for you. Unless Kurt Signetti does something miraculous in Bloomingburg, I don't want to hear it. But until then, as always, everything is proceeding as I have foreseen, and everything has transpired as according to my design. And Ohio State is the gods of college football along with Georgia. So unless Alabama does something miraculous and Indiana tries something, I don't see it. But until then, they got to prove it. But until they do, Jeffrey, I don't want to hear it about Indiana or Notre Dame. Because Notre Dame, we own them just like we own Indiana. So we don't need to hear it.
Don't own Alabama, though. Our Crimson Tide are one of the best programs of all time. We had the best coach of all time.
Right.
Too.
Yeah.
That's awesome stuff.
Call us when you see 6 national titles for your team in your lifetime.
Oh, there will be 6. And it will be while Alabama.
Okay.
And it will be while Alabama's on the downfall. And not only that.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Jackson, every time you said that, you listen to me and Mark Rogers go at it for 25 minutes. And then you don't ever say nothing. And I'm surprised.
Okay. But give out well, we'll be seeing you soon, Caden.
Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen.
Okay, man. We'll be seeing you soon, man.
Have a good night, Caden.
And we have a new caller. He is the one and only Javarius Cole. How are you doing tonight, man? It's your first time, man. That's pretty cool.
First time, but I listen, man. I listen to you guys a lot.
I appreciate it. I usually don't ever throw that line of call me when you see 6 national titles. But when I do, it's
hey man, y'all let that clown go on too long, man. He's a clown. Ohio State, yeah, you got your one. And I'm happy that you did get one because I pretty much got tired of the crying from y'all in the whole Big Ten conference. So you got one. Michigan got one. Now you won't win again for the next 25 years. So, you know, it is what it is. Because I don't know which one of y'all said it. But this year, I think Bama gonna be back, man. I think this our national championship to win. I feel like the defense is gonna be. I ain't gonna say 2016 good because Kane for some reason he don't fuck with damn. I'm sorry, y'all. For some reason, he don't run 4 down linemen, which I understand this whole new scheme and the spread offense. But if you got 4 down linemen, we don't have a game like we did against Vanderbilt. You know what I'm saying? You you was completely misaligned with the 3-down lineman, and everybody know all I got to do is double team this nose, get him up out of there, run the inside zone or whatever you want to call it. And then now your linebacker, he got to watch that hole and try to watch the outside because they weren't running nothing but pretty much like a spread out triple option. So, I don't know. That's one thing that scared me with this new defensive philosophy we got is we don't run 4-down linemen when we know we running against a running team. But offensive wise, I feel like Nick Sheridan was in over his head.
Yeah.
He wasn't the guy. I mean, it felt like he was Jalen Miro was his creative player on NCAA. He was just trying to get him a bunch of rushing stats and shit like that because it made no sense for us not to have design run plays with the running back room that we got. Like, I just don't understand it. And I don't understand how you don't line up a Robbie Oos and throw him back there at fullback and then have two other tight ends, let's say Danny Lewis and Josh Cuevas or something like that. Now you got like a extra, I don't know, 800 pounds damn near on the line to move people around. Like, I don't know, man. Last year really puzzled me, but I feel like we got Ryan Grubb. We know he likes to run the inside zone.
Yes.
We know he likes to run the counter, and we know he likes offensive linemen that can move and get out on the edges with the pitch play. So once Bama get back to the dominating run that we used to have, especially with Richard Young and Jam and the transfer, that's gonna be hard to stop just in the run game. What's his name? Washington. Washington's a pretty decent back. Like I went and watched his high school highlights. That kid's a monster, man. He just short. And hey, a bowling ball. We all seen what Maurice Jones-Drew did in the NFL. Well, I feel like this guy's a very similar back, maybe even a little touch faster.
Jones-Drew was amazing at the Jaguars. Like, he's a legend. Javarius, I wanted to ask you, how long have you been an Alabama fan?
Since 1993.
1991. The year after we won the Natty.
Yeah, I've been a Bama fan all my life, man.
Nice.
I'm from Florence, Alabama, but Freddie Roach, he went to Brooks High School. That's in like Killen, Alabama. So us kids, we always was, I'm gonna be the next Freddie Roach. Everybody had that dream of making it out. And I'm gonna be the next Freddie Roach. That him and his brother, they went down to Alabama, and well, y'all know, not to throw the race card, but black folks, everybody, that's my cousin, Freddie Roach. That's my cousin. So that right there started a whole love for football that I didn't even know I had, and still got to this day, seeing him and D'Amico Ryans them out there. And honestly, we had an offense back then that could average 28 points a game. We probably win a couple championships during that little era.
There you go. I mean, if Spur hadn't only gotten in our way a few times,
you know what I'm saying? I can live with it though, because I feel like DeBoer's back. Like last year, he did not know anything about the SEC. Like, yeah, it's hard to go from playing Washington and you're playing Arizona State and all of that crap like that to come playing Vandy. Well, Vandy probably would have went out to the Pac-12 and did their thing a couple years. Like Vandy last year just wasn't no pushover, and they had a great scheme behind them. Now losing to Oklahoma, that really ticked me off, and losing to Tennessee, how you lost to Tennessee. You get to the 3-yard line to throw an interception. That's what I mean when I say these guys, they didn't really understand SEC football. Because it's a difference. It's a difference in knowing SEC football and knowing Alabama football and knowing the rest of college football. Because Alabama football, we run that ball 8 times in a row if we have to on the 3-yard line. So maybe, hopefully, I'm pretty sure the boys that heard these things from the higher up. So I'm excited about this year, man. I see a very dominating year.
I think we're going to be more than awesome in 2025 because it's like let's say we do have an early season loss. Let's say we do lose Georgia. Like what they'll be doing is
As
throwing that
long as
party-
it's Georgia, no Florida State. We cannot lose to
No.
Florida State.
We're not going to. Florida State's too busy crying about we're going to lead the ACC.
No, we should be fine. I'm just can't have a slip up there because that would hurt Kalen DeBoer so much. Like the fans would just they'd be mad. It would just be an ugly start to the season. It wouldn't be good. Just don't lose that game.
What about I feel like Georgia's little brother, man. I don't know if y'all got siblings, but I'm the oldest sibling. I know it's been a couple times where little brother then stepped up to the plate and is like, well, I'm finna kick your ass the same way I've been kicking your ass. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you got you one. You know what I'm saying? You made me tap once or twice, but 9 out of 10, I'm the king. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that game there is going to be way more intense than the game we had last year because I feel like they put all their eggs in one basket last year with that one game. Like they probably worked on that whole little first half script for 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Like it was destined for us to win. But this game, this is when you walk into Georgia house and you say, "I'm dad. Ain't nobody above me in this house but me. This is my house. What it is, the Mercedes Dome or whatever, that's my second house. You see what I'm saying? And now I'm finna come into your house and make this my third house. Because when I put this belt on your ass, you can't do nothing but go in your room and cry. You know what I'm saying? So I just see a real dominating game that game. Because Georgia not the same Georgia. He's already crying about death and all of these things. Like, sir, we don't want to hear that shit when you want to in a row. I just hate to be like that, but yeah, Georgia got something real sick waiting on them.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, people keep saying like they're super dominant now, like they're the best team in the SEC. I don't agree. I mean, they got some problems in their program too. Yeah, we're not what we were because Saban's gone, but I think that we'll be fine overall. And I definitely think we can beat Georgia this year. So.
Come here.
Yeah. My bad, man. I got kids, guys.
You're good. You're good.
No problem.
Like how many have you got?
I got 4. I got a 14-year-old, 11-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-month-old.
Hey, what's up, little 2-month-old? What's his name?
Oldest boy, his name is Zacchaeus. 11-year-old, his name is William.
And my name is Javaris.
His name is Javarius.
Nice to meet you, Javaris.
And baby boy, his name is Legend.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nice.
But hey, man, I might be a fanatic, just one of them crazy Alabama fans, but I do not see anything more than maybe Georgia gets us with the refs because we know we're going to their house and they gonna need the help. So maybe they get us there, but other than that, I'm seeing us running the whole field. I mean, who can we actually look in college football and say they have a better roster than Alabama, a better coaching staff than Alabama? You know what I'm saying? I can't name no team above us. I can name maybe a couple equal to us, but nobody above us.
I will say though that there's a couple teams that worry me though on the road. That's South Carolina and Auburn. Because like anytime we've gone to Auburn, like the last time where we defeated Auburn that resulted in double digits was 2015. That was the last time we defeated Auburn at Auburn by double digits. 2023, it took fourth and 26. Well, fourth 31. Well, still, I'm just like, no, it shouldn't take us that much to beat Auburn, but it's no, don't give us that kind of scare again. 2025. 2025. I'm kind of worried about South Carolina because, like, we got lucky against South Carolina last year. If we pull that kind of stuff again this year, which that's not going to happen, but South Carolina is going to be ready for us. They got everything rocking and rolling in Columbia, South Carolina. But
You right. You right. Those are two scary games. But one place I feel like we got South Carolina beat is the intimidation factor. Like you can't live off that win with Steven Garcia, whatever his name. You can't live off of that forever. Oh, we're gonna beat Alabama this year, or we can stand the chance. You can't. You know what I'm saying? Because this is gonna be a different offensive game as far as we're gonna run the ball at those guys and show them that they don't have the depth or the size on our team, on their team to compete with us at all. And then the Auburn game, we all know it's funky juju down there, man. Like I really don't understand it myself. My brother, he's a huge Auburn fan. We're 3 years apart, so that's always like a huge rivalry at our house. Like, and that's really his only claim to fame is, oh well, when y'all come down here, you got to play us. And it's like, man, we got to play y'all, the spirits of the stadium, and everybody else that's there. Like, so Auburn, that game scared me a little bit, but I don't think Hugh Freeze is going to be there after this year.
Yeah, I think his tenure's about over. I mean, you're not given a lot of time these days to build a team. I mean, with NIL and the portal, they want you to win immediately. And Auburn, their fans, I mean, they're hungry for wins. I mean, they ran Brian Harsin out of town really quick. So, yeah, I don't think Hugh Freeze is going to last much longer either if you don't start winning. I don't really see.
It's funny, though. They were looking for something on Brian Harsin where they were, like, trying to see if he was committing adultery in the workplace. But then it's like, no, we don't have evidence. We got to keep him for 2022.
Oh, man, my phone died, guys.
Uh-oh, his phone's dead. Raggy. Well, we'll see that you charge it back up and, give us a call anytime and call back when you can. And he'll be back. We'll wait for him to get his phone charged back up and, I guess he'll call back. But I gotta tell you, that's a pretty cool caller, man. Like I like Javarius Cole. He's a cool dude.
He's an awesome Bama fan, man. We got to bring more Bama fans in here like Javarius for sure. I mean, that's what this is about. Even though we love talking to everybody in the college football space. Typically it's college football. I know we go off the rails and talk about a bunch of other stuff, but if we have like someone that's like a Star Trek fan coming on, it's like, you might be in the wrong place. We might make a reference to that, but like the show is football. But if you're a football fan, like it don't matter who you root for, you definitely call in. But we do want a lot of Bama fans though to call in because this is a Bama show after all.
Well, we'll tell you this though. And I know you and I talked a little bit about Jeffrey, but we're going to be having a very special guest in one of the upcoming live shows for Crimson Tide Live. You know him and you love him. He's the one and only Coach Smook. He will be coming on a show for sure. Like it may be next week or week after, but I can guarantee we'll be bringing him on here. And there's going to be several more Alabama insiders that we will be bringing you on Alabama with the Voice of College Football for Crimson Tide Live. But of course, we're probably going to wrap this up in just a little bit before. So of course, we've got the Voice of College Football X account /Twitter, where we've got magic all over the place. Here we go. Who did I say what? I wonder what he said. Coach Smook. I said that we're going to be having him come on one of the Crimson Tide live shows. He is a wonderful he is a wonderful go-to on Alabama football
Mhm.
and Alabama athletics. And I recommend people go check him out. I mean, because
Yeah, bringing him on the show would be absolutely awesome for sure.
oh yeah, and any more insight? Yeah, tell your friends, your family, and the cashiers at Poets about the magic that Jeffrey, Coach Burtz, and I are bringing on Crimson Tide Live and on the Alabama Call-In Show. We're getting everybody ready for a wild ride, and of course, there's the Voice of College Football @Twitter account where you can get top-notch discussion, debate, and analysis. Oh, there's our guy Clean Mike giving us a shout out from the world famous Buckeye Show. TJ and having college football with Sam coming on in the Michigan Wolverine College Show. Our guy Garrison on Ohio State, the voice of college football. Mark having Locked On Badgers host. Ryan Herrings and Spencer McLaughlin from Locked On Ducks and Locked On College Football coming on today. That was a great show, if I do say so myself. Is Marcel Reed the answer for Texas A&M? Steve Hellwagon on Buckeyes Live every Wednesday morning. Chad Tierney Smith on the Oklahoma Show. Tiger Paul Craven and Jordan and friends on Clemson at the Voice of College Football and much more. And of course, there's the Voice of College Football Instagram account where you see Marcel Reed and you see Ed Reed. You see Jeremiah Love making that magic. DJ Lagway. What kind of magic will he be making? Tell your friends and everyone about the magic that the Voice College Football Instagram account is creating. And the Ets account that the magic is creating as well. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're in for a wild ride. Well, before we head on off the bed, Jeffrey, what have you got going on in your world this week, man?
Definitely just did a show with Austin on my YouTube channel, Only Talk Sports, doing for March Madness because the Final Four is coming up and the national championship game. That's going to be fantastic. Even if your favorite team isn't in there, it's still going to be fun to watch for sure, see who wins. And so we did that show, and I'm going to release shorts, should be able to, for the Final Four, like I've been doing for the March Madness games. For the predictions. So, if you didn't get to watch the live stream and you don't want to, go like through hours to find our predictions, then have the shorts. So, make it a lot easier. But definitely have that. Going to keep covering the transfer portal and college basketball as well. Definitely a lot of stuff going on with that. So that's going to be crazy for the next couple of months. And then football is going to be coming back around the corner. So definitely going to be covering that. But also, again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, Only Talk Sports, definitely appreciate it if you do. But also, Alabama at the Voice of College Football. If you enjoyed the show tonight, definitely leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel. Me and Jackson and Johnny every Monday, and me and Jackson on Thursday nights, talking Alabama football with you. You guys make the show awesome, but definitely appreciate it if you guys would subscribe if you're enjoying it.
Agreed. I mean, we are only 142 days. Well, 141 days in Jeffrey's timeline away from week 0, 148 days until Alabama starts the season against Florida State. But we're in the Central Time Zone. We're only 149 days still. So we're still an hour behind. We got to catch up. But of course, tell your friends, family, and everyone about the magic Jeffrey is creating on not only on Alabama the Voice of College Football, but on Only Talk Sports, where he talks sports every single day, or at least he tries to, including his March Madness takeaways with Austin from Sports Talk with Austin, and the transfer portal takeaways for college basketball. And of course, you can check me out on Jackson Johnson 979 on YouTube, where I host my show, The Jacksonian. And also, I will be having on for my next episode, Lulu Keeson. She is the South Carolina football women's basketball beat writer for the Greenville News. And we're going to be discussing quite a lot about Dawn Staley, South Carolina football. Can they make that breakthrough for 2025? And much, much more. We're going to be discussing a lot of that And to those that are subscribed on my personal channel, thank you so much for helping me get over that 500 subscriber threshold. And thank you for helping us get closer on Alabama with the Voice College Football, get close to 3,000 subs. We're gonna make. I mean, Texas has us beat for now, but we're gonna beat them to 4,000. But if you love Alabama with the Voice College Football or want to hear who's going to be on the Jacksonian and much more, what I've got going on down the pike, check me out on Jackson VOCFB on @/Twitter or on Instagram and Threads at JacksonJohnson543908, where I not only give my updates on who's coming on Jacksonian or on Alabama with the Voice College Football, but I'll also give my weekly call-ins on the Paul Feinbaum Show. And with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell for Alabama with the Voice College Football so you never miss no video whatsoever.
Roll Tide.